Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read through for the second half of Chainsaw Man Volume 16. I think we're on chapters 139, 140, 141, 142, and 143. Next volume also is 10 chapters, so I'm just going to split that in half, do 5 chapters and 5 chapters to do next volume, and then we're really close to being caught up. Even if I go down after that to like 3 or 4 chapters a week, we're probably still going to catch up sometime in like 2 months or less. We probably have 2 months or less left until I catch up to Chainsaw Man. So yeah, pretty close to catching up. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm a little iffy on last week's set of read-throughs. I have been really enjoying it. You know, I've seen some people that love part 2. A lot of people that hate part 2 say it's not as good as part 1, and I don't know, I've enjoyed part 2 so far. I've really liked it up until last week's set of chapters where I was just not really as into it, because it feels like all of a sudden out of nowhere Asayoru are really good at fighting devils and they're famous, everybody thinks they're pretty, and it just kind of comes out of nowhere. It feels like I would have loved, especially following Asa's character for part 2, I would have loved if we built up to that, if we saw the lead up, the build up to that, instead of just being like, oh no, they're famous and everything now. And then focusing more last time on Denji's character too, where his character work isn't bad, but it's also not the funnest to read and everything to me. It's not the most fun sticking with Denji, and I think the thing that part 1 had going for it that part 2 doesn't is that even if Denji to me isn't my favorite character, I like him, but he's not my favorite character, he was surrounded by a really great cast of side characters. You had Aki and Himeno, you had Power and Makima, you had Arai and oh gosh, why am I forgetting her name? Freaking best girl, Kobani. We had them. Later on we had Beam, who was around quite a bit. Reize was there for an arc. But really Reize wasn't there for that long. It might be a bit much to say side character there. Kishibe was around a lot more. So you had this interesting like world of side characters orbiting around Denji. Whereas in part 2, we really just have Asayoru, Denji, and Yoshida. Basically, we basically just have those 4. Yuko was around for a little while, but I think she was taken out way too soon. And then other than those 4, we're kind of just now, like, technically Nayuta and Fami have been around, but we just like never see them until like recently. Now we're starting to see them, so I really hope we get to see some more now. Sword Guy's coming in. I like his design, so I'm excited to see more of him. But again, we just haven't had this group of side characters or this world of side characters to help elevate things. We're just focusing straight in on the main characters, and I was cool when we were doing that with Asa because I think that her story with Yoru and everything was being really well told. And then we kind of go away from that, we expedite things, we skim over things, we focus more on Denji, who to me is just way less interesting. Now we are bringing in this bodyguard character, so that's another character being brought in. Now we're bringing in more characters, so I'm hoping this could either be some good stuff coming, or it could kind of be like in part 1, where we introduced a ton of new characters, and a couple of them were pretty good, but most of them just instantly died without doing basically anything, and were kind of just like, who cares, forgettable, you kind of just move past them, and they didn't matter in a lot of ways. So I am worried that, you know, part 2 is falling downhill. I'm worried about that. I've also seen people complain about the art in part 2, but I think the art has been good, though I can't tell. I will be honest with you, I can't tell if it's gotten worse because this is my first time reading through everything. I very often go back through. It's like when I'm feeling in a, you know, One Piece kind of mood or a Bleach kind of mood, Naruto, etc., I'll go back and reread things. So whenever I'm like really in a Chainsaw Man kind of mood and want to go back and reread things, maybe then I'll have more perspective. I can maybe notice more. But I think it looks fine. And to me, what makes it art good or not just isn't how detailed it is in the sense of how many lines are in this drawing. What I think about when I think of like art that I find good for a manga, it's like how much of the story can they tell through art, how good does the art look just in an aesthetic sense. And a big thing for me is how much the art fits the series, how much I can look at the art and be like, oh yeah, I love this. I love the vibe of it, just so to speak, and everything. Something like Berserk, everybody always praises its art, and it's not just like super super detailed on a technical level, which I think makes it very good, but it very much fits the series extremely well in that movement in Berserk is probably the best that I ever see movement portrayed in manga. Like, it's really clear and easy to tell like how characters are moving from panel to panel, especially during fights and stuff. The choreography of the movement is the clearest, plainest, easiest to read, I think, that I've ever read in anything. And with a series that has a lot of fights and action, I think that it fits it incredibly well. And of course, the high detail stuff helps give you this feeling of like the old school medieval sort of stuff. And then again, I think something with Beastars, I'll bring it up because it's like my favorite manga. The manga has a really sketch-like quality to it. The art is detailed. It's not that the art isn't detailed. It's not like, sometimes Hunter x Hunter can kind of be sketchy in its artwork, in an actual, like, not that great looking kind of way. But Beastars, even though the artwork was good and detailed, it didn't have these like really just like plain, thick, clean lines. The artwork looked kind of like sketches in style. There were like more thinner, sketchy, scrapey lines rather than just, thick, clean line work when it came to Beastars. And I think that's something that the anime kind of misses out on, where you miss out on some of that visual style that the manga has. And to me, Chainsaw Man has always done a great job at telling story through its artwork, but also Chainsaw Man's artwork has always given me a feeling, a vibe. It feels dirty. It feels dirty. It feels grungy. It feels grimy. And I think that the way the artwork and the world fit, like, it matches so well to me, which I like. So I really like the artwork in that sense. Lately, I've been reading Kubera on the channel, if you watch any of my manhwa stuff. And Kubera has art that I've really, really enjoyed. And it's like, it's not super detailed. It's not super high quality. It's more cartoonish. But I feel like that fits the way that tone is handled in the series really well. So I haven't been able to tell if I think the art's gotten any worse just because this is my first time reading. But I still think it's good. I still think it just feels Chainsaw Man to me. But then again, first time reading, so what do I really know? I think with all of that long intro work aside, I should go ahead and start reading chapter 139. We start off with Swordman and Denji. Does this jog your memory? When you fought Makima, a pretty strong sword wielder should have been there too. Yeah, that's right. That was me. Nope, long story, but I'm not the one who fought that battle. Huh, wait, you're not? Chapter 139, A Chair's Feelings. Look, I gotta go to school. I transferred here from Kanagawa. My name's, Miri Sugo. That is a different name. I don't know if I've ever heard a name like that in Japanese before. My hobbies are running and playing the piano. And then, is he a hunk or what? He's like a mashup of Denji and the student council president. One more thing. I'm not here to make friends, so don't talk to me, you pieces of trash. Just immediately going full anime character Chunibyo on them. Do you have a girlfriend? Were you in a club at your old school? You have to play piano for us. They won't shut up. Hey, Denji, will you get rid of them for me? And Denji wants the attention of girls, but girls are falling all over Miri Sugo, and he's like, yo, Denji, use your presence to get girls away from me. What do you want already? What do you want, dude? Spit it out already. It's private. And we see the bodyguard using him as a chair. Oh, don't mind me. I know what's up. I'm a public safety dog. You're with public safety? Are you serious? Well, whatever. I'm here as a Chainsaw Man church messenger. The weapons walk with the Chainsaw Man church. Join us, Denji. The weapons? We're a community of people like you, people who can turn into devils. Most of the church's top brass are weapons. They're promising you a pretty high position if you join, and that's weird. It's very weird that they're part of the Chainsaw Man Church now, which is like following the Chainsaw Man sort of like superhero-ish method of just going out and hunting devils. And I guess I can see simplistic art with his feet here in this panel to the bottom left. His feet are just like very, very crudely drawn here. I'm sorry, it just distracted me. But it's kind of weird. Because it's like, we know that Makima was a fan, self-proclaimed, of Chainsaw Man. So are they similar to that? Are they still, in some way, under Makima's control? Because without Makima's influence, would Reize just want to go back to the Soviet Union or whatever? Like, what's the deal with them and Makima, or even now Nayuta? Are they still being controlled in some sort of way? Or did the manipulation put into them permanently change them so that they just think this way now? Wait. It's the Chainsaw Man Church. You gotta make Chainsaw Man the church's leader. Anything less is disrespectful to Senpai, don't you think? Yeah, what she said. Hey, it's a pretty good offer. You only need to pitch in a little with jobs they give you, and you can do whatever else you want. You can even turn down jobs you don't want to do. And it's weird that the Chainsaw Man Church would make him want to do jobs, since they just said before that they want to have him do less and less so that he can live this peaceful life or whatever and not have to be Chainsaw Man. You can, like, there was a lot last chapter that, unless we're going to get a reveal that, oh, this character is betraying this character and this character is not on the same page with this character, there's a lot that just feels poorly written and contradictory. You can spend as much money as you want to. I go to the arcade and eat steak every day. Steak every day? Wouldn't you get tired of steak if you ate it every day? I'd go with sushi. Yeah, sushi. I could never get tired of sushi. Ooh, I'd want a daily parfait too if I could get it. I'd never get tired of parfaits either, even if I had one every single day. I'd never get tired of Chinese food, even if I ate it for every meal. The food's not the point, you idiots. What are you, little kids? I love that scene. I didn't take this job to chit-chat about infantile crap. Denji, you should understand. I should? I spent my entire life being used like a tool by worthless bastards. I heard it was the same for you. See? That looks as bingo. Am I right? Bingo. I'm not about to worship you, but I am grateful to you with every passing day. In the Chainsaw Man Church, I'm truly free. I realized something. My body, my brain, I ought to use them for myself. Join me in the Chainsaw Man Church. I'll protect you from public safety and that sushi woman. You transferred schools to give Senpai a recruitment pitch? Wait, Sugo, are you sure you aren't being taken advantage of again? Huh? I'm not. I'm doing this of my own free will. Chainsaw Man, of all people, being a chair, it doesn't sit right with me. But butts feel good, he says. Chairs are like content in their own way, you know? Yeah, maybe I can't eat steak every day, but I do eat pot stickers and ice cream and other tasty foods. Again, we're seeing Denji try to be content where he is. I'm happy with my normal life. Plus, a normal life was my dream. I'm not joining the Chainsaw Man Church. Forget it, he stomps off. Let's get one thing straight. I didn't transfer here just to recruit you. I wanted to be your friend, Denji. Because you're the one who killed Makima and freed me. Man, and that seems like it probably gets to him a little. But again, I don't know how much we can trust what Sugo's saying. Too bad. If you came with me, you could sleep with all the women you want to. And again, it just feels manipulative. And as he walks in, Denji's already there. What the? Did you teleport? I've given what you said a lot of thought. About whether I've also... And I wonder if this is just a comedic scene. If we're supposed to think it's funny, like, haha, did you just teleport? Or if this is actually supposed to be a serious hint at something. Like a serious hint at a fake Denji, or a double Denji. Or some sort of extra power that he's awoken to. Like, I wonder if this is going to be used as like foreshadowing for something bigger later on down the line. I've given what you said a lot of thought. About whether I've also been somebody else's tool, I mean. You're damn right I was a tool. Chainsaw Man Church, sign me up. And again, it feels like he's betraying his normal life already and just jumping straight into being a tool again. So again, it feels like where Denji's character progression is headed, I don't know if it's just non-linear and if there are stops and starts and maybe he falls backwards and rises back up a couple times and that's what we're supposed to get out of it, or if it's just inconsistent writing on the mangaka's parts. Not really sure which. But either way, we still have 4 more chapters to read even after that, so let's go on to the next. Chapter 140, Scales. We see, do they actually have a giant Chainsaw Man head on their building? Again, this just seems like really weird, so to speak, that they immediately do all of this. It's like, okay, you know, Asayoru are already famous, the Chainsaw Man Church is already powerful and have constructed this giant Chainsaw Man tower. There are things that have always kind of been inconsistent with how the world manages to still function as well as it does with everything that's happening and that has happened. So, I don't know if we're maybe supposed to just not sweat the details, not really care about details like that, and just enjoy the series for what it is and the story it is trying to tell with the characters, even if some of the greater world building doesn't actually make sense. But, I don't know. We'll see. The building apparently originally belonged to some cult. The Chainsaw Man Church absorbed the cult and took everything, building and all. Awesome, right? We vanquished evil. Hey, where are those all-you-can-sleep-with girls? Take it easy, we'll get to that. Short Stuff's gonna give you the tour first. And then, I'll be, your guide. Your guide. Nobana Higashiyama. Nobana Higashiyama. So I wonder then, if the characters we're going to meet here are all the weapons from part 1, if we're going to get deeper into who all the weapons were. If so, is Reze still going to be around, or did she go back to the Soviet Union? Was it Quan Chi? Is Quan Chi going to still be around, or Quan Chi? I forget the pronunciation. Are they going to still be around, or has she been imprisoned or just went back to public safety, or what's the deal? Now we see the inside of the building. Dude, it's almost all students. Good eye. You see, the Chainsaw Man Church is run by a body of students rather than adults. The adults' mental faculties are diminished because of an American ultraviolet ray weapon in Japan's air. That's why us students are forming the Chainsaw Man Church together. And again, is this one of those things where it's a weird conspiracy, or is it just actually true in the world of Chainsaw Man? America's the freaking worst. I love the quiet panel of Denji, and then, are you for real? It's for real. Chainsaw Man's devil powers give him supervision. That's how we discovered it. They're really, for real, dangerous. America and adults both. And he's just like flabbergasted by all of this. Hey, what's that room? And we see pews with chainsaw like ornamentation. That's the Chainsaw Man Wedding Chapel. Chainsaw Man Wedding Chapel? That's right. In the next room over, Denji, you'll have sex with a girl. Oh, I will? Yeah, and then you'll marry her in the chapel, and after that, you'll join the Chainsaw Man Church. Say what? I'm not gonna marry her. What the hell are you talking about? Wait. Gotta be a good guide. In the Chainsaw Man Church, we encourage student marriages and, oh right, that's it. The current system of getting married after you become an adult was brought over from America. Chainsaw Man saw it for what it really is, a system for controlling Japanese people as slaves. So, it's an interesting note that it seems like not everybody knows that Denji is Chainsaw Man, because they have these beliefs about things that Chainsaw Man has done, like discovering the weapon or setting up the marriage system. Like, these are things that they think Chainsaw Man has done, but Denji's like, I wasn't here for this and I am Chainsaw Man. And I wonder if it's the fake Chainsaw Man or if it's just weird dogma made up by the church or the people who are, again, like they said, the top brass manipulating the situation. In addition to that, it's interesting that anything that goes wrong, they just immediately blame on America and use America as their scapegoat for saying, oh, we can't explain this thing. We'll blame Dingleberg. We'll blame America. So it is interesting to note that they are really off the rocker. Like, it's one of those things where you would think they call themselves the Chainsaw Man Church, but really maybe they're just people that are inspired by what Chainsaw Man has done. But we see now that it's way further than that, to where they have like a bunch of really weird beliefs that make you think, did they get these beliefs because they just naturally started deluding themselves as a group, or because they're being manipulated by somebody at the top? Marrying his students and then raising the resulting children in the Chainsaw Man Church is the most natural marriage system. For real though, America's the freaking worst. He just repeats it again. You lying sacks of crap. I want to have sex, but I don't want to get married. Huh? Why the hell not? I never found no American ultra-violent whatever either. Huh? For real? You didn't? Of course not. I mean, yeah. Maybe we lie. Make that embellish things a little. And I do like the way that both of them are constantly, like both of these Chainsaw Man Church members are constantly like saying something and then correcting themselves and changing the way that they're saying it. But it's true that the Chainsaw Man Church has saved a bunch of people. Does that make it okay to make crap up and force kids to get married, though? You're a kid too, you piece of trash. You came to me without a second thought. Without a second thought? I thought this through logically, and I'm being logical too, man. If we save 100 people, it's no big deal if one person gets screwed in the process, right? Don't fight. I can't guide you like that. And again, I can't tell if we're supposed to be understanding how messed up this is, or if it's just kind of flimsy writing, if it's kind of just it's way too over the top. Like, I can't tell. Like, it's one of those things where I'll have to read through and then kind of like see it as a whole later on to really get if this is bad or not. Like, I have to see if they're going somewhere with it. Hey, our next stop is a fun one. It's called the Chainsaw Man Bathroom, and wah, somebody touches their shoulder. That'll do, Nobana. Get back to your usual duties. Yes, sir. Hey, I brought him like you said. Talk some nonsense into the city, or talk some sense into this idiot for me, will ya? Hey there, long time no see, or so I'm told. But since neither of us remember each other, put her there. I'm Barum. Or Barum. I'll just look up the katakana. I'm assuming with a name like that, they probably use katakana. I'll look it up later. Then he throws out scissors, sticks it into his nose. Yeah! He starts laughing. What'd you do that for? I'll F you up, butt munch. Fine by me. If you did, Chainsaw Man might come to save me. I wonder why he hasn't been fighting devils lately. It's quite the mystery. Hey, what do you think would bring Chainsaw Man back? Like I care. What are we to do? He would come back, or would he come back if a big bad devil tore up Tokyo? Tokyo will be fine. Even without Chainsaw Man, it has devil hunters. Plus, there's Asa. Oh, you know Asa. Are you friends? Shut up. Well, I guess she's even been on TV lately. A cute, dumb girl is a good catch. And then, does that mean that killing Asa Mitaka will bring back Chainsaw Man? What are you weighing the following on a pair of scales? On the right side, friends, family, a peaceful, wonderful everyday life, your pet cat and dogs. On the left side, just one thing, the starter that transforms you into Chainsaw Man. Which side is heavier? Man, that's this page is just really good. Because, yeah, it's like all of the things that you're not turning into Chainsaw Man to protect. What is it that's heavier? What is the starter? Like, all the weight of all of your friends, family, your life, everything is weighed against turning into Chainsaw Man. The only thing that outweighs that is something that turns you into Chainsaw Man. So what is it? Lego, I'm out of this crazy place. We'll be seeing you, Chainsaw Man. Enjoy your normal life while you can. Very interesting, and again, I can't tell if this is just very off-putting and well-written, or if it's way too over the top. We'll have to see if it's going somewhere. Like, we'll have to see where the mangaka's going with it before I make a, call on that. But I thought it was a pretty neat chapter. And this video is getting long already, but we still have much more to go. Chapter 141, Normal Life Plus. And we see him shopping with Nayata. They're selling Chainsaw Man curry buns. Half off. Maybe it's because of the, lessening popularity. We now see posters of Asa up instead of Chainsaw Man. We see a devil coming out right in front of them. He reaches up but stops and lets the students come fight it. Presumably, since they're students, a part of the church. Then he walks away the other direction with Nayata, looking on, again noting that he's not transforming here. He's sitting around, living his normal life with his family now. Bathing with the dogs, brushing his teeth with Nayata. Everyone sleeping together. He gets up in the middle of the night, though, stares at the Chainsaw Man poster. Can't sleep. Hey, what's gonna happen to me from here on out? After I graduate and get a job, will I be happier than I am now? Are you unhappy, Denji? I don't know. She holds up her hands. You're hopeless, little Denji. I'll stay with you for the rest of your life. Then you'll be happy too, right? 'Cause I'm just that cute. He lays back down. Tomorrow is the Chainsaw Man Church's day of worship. The followers won't hunt any devils that appear. But the civilian and public safety devil hunters will come crawling out like cockroaches if we keep killing them. Chainsaw Man's sense of justice will brim over and he'll arrive to defeat the devils. I hope he comes. Hey, why go this far to draw Chainsaw Man out? Tell me too. Tomorrow we're weapons. Discard all other thoughts. I'm a human, let me think for myself. He's right, we're humans. We're also weapons, and devils too. Do you know what these three things have in common? They're all hard to spell? Wrong. Humans, weapons, and devils. We're all born to kill. And that's why God will forgive us, no matter how many people we kill tomorrow. So then, this is an interesting note. Is this part of the Nostradamus prophecy? Or is the Nostradamus prophecy mass death something to come later? Because this makes it seem like they're going to tell all of the students not to hunt devils on that day. So the devil hunters that are with them are going to be safe, where the devil hunters who are not with them, like public safety, are not going to be safe. Meanwhile, they're going to turn into devils and maybe also, like their devil forms, and maybe also bring out other devils somehow. And of course, the devils that are naturally there just aren't going to be suppressed as much with all of the Chainsaw Man church members not killing them. So they're going to wreak havoc, but it makes me think, is that the predicted mass death event? Or is that the predicted mass death event, or is the predicted mass death event something even bigger than that yet to come? Because it seems like it'd probably be something even bigger yet to come. And in addition to that, it does seem interesting to note that the weapons and what they're doing with the Chainsaw Man Church feel very different from what Fami said her goal was and what Fami was talking to Asa and Yoru about. It feels like the weapons and Fami aren't on the same page, really. Also noting that this one weapon is not very smart, given that things that even in Japanese are pretty easy to spell, says that it's hard to spell things like humans, weapons, and devils. Where I'm pretty sure humans and weapons have pretty simple kanji, from my knowledge. I mean, devils are akama, I guess, or debiru, depending on how they say it in Chainsaw Man. So that's not really difficult either in Japanese. So yeah. Either way, though, that was a short one, mostly because a lot of it was told. Again, me saying the art is good. A lot of this story was told through the art itself, with Denji and his normal life. So that, I think, was really important to see and really good to see. It adds a lot into the character and the story that he's going after. Though, again, we have had this shift where we're still not focusing on Asa any. So, yeah. We still don't know what things are really, really, really like. We have had like one scene with her since she's been famous. So yeah, either way, let's go to the next one. Chainsaw Man 142, Denji Fan Club. And now we're seeing some sort of like small amusement park, it seems like. Right? And Night is riding this tiny police car. So, you didn't join the Chainsaw Man Church after all. Relax, I'm not turning into Chainsaw Man ever again. That's a shame. Turning into Chainsaw Man must feel really good. All the recognition and respect. I imagine you get to experience thrills us ordinary people can never get a taste of. It's not all sunshines and rainbows, you know? Yeah, no kidding. I'd rather die than get watched in the bathroom like Chainsaw Man. Wait, huh? Say what? I'm being watched even in the bathroom? Oops, I wasn't supposed to tell you that. Pretend you never heard it. Are you for real? That's totally vile. I jerk off in there. Jeez, I've really done it now. I'm gonna get in trouble again. Seriously, you guys are the lowest of the low. I'm gonna get yelled at. I sure feel low. Touching my wiener? Watching me in the bathroom? You're a total stalker. Who wouldn't want to touch Chainsaw Man's wiener? I'm not a stalker. I'm your fan. Call me a fan. She is truly a fan. My fan, not a chance. All the women who come on to me hate my guts. Well, sure, I do hate you a tiny bit too. 'Cause Chainsaw Man didn't save me, or didn't save my mom and dad. And then he stops for a bit. The town where Chainsaw Man fought the gun fiend. I lived there with my family. We just sat down for dinner when our house was destroyed. When I managed to crawl out of the rubble, Chainsaw Man and the gun fiend were there, fighting right before my eyes. This is cool, so you're probably going to be able to look back and see the stuff in the background, I'm assuming. I shouted to Chainsaw Man, begged him to rescue my mom and dad, but my voice got drowned out by chainsaw sounds. Or we don't actually get to see it in the background, and it's a missed opportunity for something really cool. Chainsaw Man didn't even notice me. Did your mom and dad survive? They died, but you don't need to worry about that. Reason being, I don't see Chainsaw Man as a superhero or a god or any of that. When Chainsaw Man turned back into a human that day, I was watching. You were crying, right? When I saw it, I realized for the first time that the one who's been fighting all this time while devils kill him over and over again was just a kid. That was the moment I made up my mind. To save him. I'm a huge fan, Denji-senpai. Again, and this is questionable. She wants to save him. It's like she wants to save him in a way that sounds similar to the way that Fami wants to save him, which is also maybe the way to kill Chainsaw Man. I'm not a Chainsaw Man fan. I'm a Denji-senpai fan. That's me. I'm a Chainsaw Man fan. And Barham shows up and sits down. Man, Japan's Public Safety Commission's impressive. It was no walk in the park making it here without getting spotted, let me tell ya. What do you want? Lights up a cigarette. Check it out, proof of my fandom. And he has a lighter. My Chainsaw Man lighter. Will you listen to my fan request? Personally, I want to see Chainsaw Man fighting. I want to see him carving up devils with his chainsaws, getting covered in gore, suffering and struggling and getting killed, and despite it all, returning to life and getting back up again. Moments from now, there will be a devil attack on this building's first floor. Just a hunch. And if I had to guess, the folks down there will soon be shouting, "Save us, Chainsaw Man!" We see a bunch of people sitting in the food court. The weapons are down there. Okay, so it looks like we're about to get into the weapons going on a rampage. And I wonder how this will work out with Denji and his bodyguard, whose name I already forget, the weapons, because the weapons should also be immortal unless eaten. Well, even if eaten, the weapons still manage to be immortal. Why are weapons so special? Like, we know that primal fears are special, but it's presumed that Chainsaw Man could eat and erase them. Same goes for, the Four Horsemen, who are like incredibly nutty, powerful, and important in the grand scheme of life and stuff, but presumably Chainsaw Man could eat and get rid of them. And it's interesting how I think World War II was one of the things that was eaten and doesn't exist anymore, right? So it's crazy that a specific war can be eaten and not exist anymore, but not the concept of war as a whole. Those are two separate things. So it is interesting to note some of this stuff. I'm wondering how this works out, like who allies with who and what are the decisions that get made here. Is Denji going to resist transforming and just let it happen? Is Asa going to come in to save the day instead of Chainsaw Man saving the day, and this time she saves Denji? Either way, I got one more chapter, so let's keep reading for right this second. Last one for this week, chapter 143, Rar. Listen up, children. Our orders are to make the humans scream as loudly as possible as we kill them. So, he's saying children, and he looks a little older, so I guess he's older than the other weapons. We'll target women and children. Higher voices, better screams. My suggestion, go for the limbs. Make the sense of loss immediately visible. The limbs. Did you just call me a child? I'll be 82 this year. Show some respect. So, an old hag? I'm no old hag. So I guess weapons then can just not age anymore. I guess maybe that's the case with Denji too, since he just revives when killed. I guess Denji is just forever quote-unquote 16, which is again one of those things where you're supposed to get the idea across of how young Denji is, but I feel like the author didn't want to be specific with it. Far from it. I'm eternally young and tough as nails. I'll never die. I'm a superior human specimen. I believe I was chosen by God. Fair enough. That'd make our imminent murder spree a message from God. I like the way you think. Sounds like a true believer. Now we see a clock. Let's wrap up the cigarettes. Operation begins at 5 on the dot. You were the only one smoking. And now, it really is interesting to note that Swordman really feels like he's not into this kind of stuff, but he is straight up still being used. He is just a tool. He is just a weapon. No matter what he's trying to say about being a free person or doing what he's doing of his own free will, it feels like he is still just being a tool. We see a kid fall in front of him, start crying. This is a message from God? Yeah, a message from God. I'm a weapon. I'm only loaning out my body for a little bit is all. So again, he is just treating himself like an actual tool, basically. The one guy reaches behind his neck. Okay, so the guy reaching behind his neck, I think that's how Spear Devil did stuff before, right? So he might be Spear. I don't remember what all of them were. I think one of them was a whip, so she's probably whip. We know that he's sword. And then there was Reize, there was the katana guy, and it's interesting that sword and katana are two separate things. Is there one that's just blade? One that is knife somewhere? But the other one we saw was flamethrower. So unless one of them are I guess flamethrower was a guy. So I think flamethrower is probably Barum unless he's Spear and I'm getting it wrong. But I think the light-haired guy is Spear. I think that there was a whip one, so she's probably whip. Flamethrower is probably Barum because I think that's the only one left. I think that covers all the weapon people. It is also interesting to note that Gun Devil is extremely powerful, but Gun Devil has never done the heart transplant thing to become a gun hybrid. It might be because you need all the parts of Gun Devil to do that, but then again, some parts of Gun Devil are dead. It's interesting to note that the parts of Gun Devil that aren't dead are just, on their own. Maybe they all the remaining parts, all the living parts, maybe they need to be joined together to be put into somebody's heart or replace somebody's heart to become a gun hybrid person. But then it's like, okay, if part of Gun Devil is dead, does that mean that the part of him that's dead is in hell? But so there's like a part of him in hell and a part of him here in the human world? The lore is a little unclear. Okay, we have a spread of them seemingly oh no, not transforming, getting sliced up by, it looks like a woman with an eye patch. So is this Chuan-Chi? She's on an opposite side from the other weapons from the Chainsaw Man Church, I think. And it's neat to note how it looks like he was going to pull his arm off, like how Katana Man transformed. So the three of them get chopped up in an instant. But we see he does pull his arm off as his neck is being cut, and he transforms. Why you? Then, okay, so it is her. I believe it was Chuan-Chi. Then she looks over to the kid who fell. Rawr, and he runs away screaming. Got them. Target suppression confirmed. Prepare to send in Special Division 7 20 minutes after the media coverage. This just in. Multiple gunmen opened fire inside a department store today. The shooters were Chainsaw Man Church followers. The death toll is unconfirmed at this time, however. The police and the National Devil Extermination Public Safety Commission have announced their plans to take swift action in response to the emerging possibility of Chainsaw Man Church terrorist activities. So, they're lying to... Here's the thing. It seems like beforehand they basically planned to lie to spread this propaganda against the Chainsaw Man Church. But on the other side of things, how much are they really lying? Like, it seemed like they were going to lie either way, but it is the truth that the Chainsaw Man Church's weapons were going to slaughter a bunch of innocent people. And we know they were specifically going to go after women and kids. They were going to mutilate rather than kill them because they needed to make as much a spectacle as possible for Chainsaw Man. So with that in mind, they were going to do really extremely evil mass terrorist acts. But it seems like, they're stopping that from happening, but still putting the blame on them. Which, I mean, can you blame them? They're, obviously evil. We see the building here. They'll search the building. If they find the weapons in the basement, we could be charged with treason. What weapons? We had the person from before. No one ever told me we had any weapons. What the hell's going on? We have the face of them. Gather all combat-trained followers outside the prayer room. Explain what's going on here. So it seems like we are going to have a, much like tragedies we've seen happen in the real world, a cult versus government agency standoff. I don't know a thing. I've never heard a word about it. And neither did you, right, Founder? And now because he's the face, everything's coming down on him, who really didn't know about the sketchiness going on with the church. But it also makes me wonder, so the church wanted to bring out Chainsaw Man, or at least the weapons idea of the church, but that goes completely, against the side of the church that was supposedly wanting to stop Chainsaw Man from coming out. And of course, it's clear that the government is fighting to stop Chainsaw Man from coming back out. There's a lot going on, and again, I don't think this is bad. I just think we need to see where it's going. So starting next week, it seems like I'm excited for this, because we've seen a lot of Chainsaw Man having to be the one to fight, Denji having to be the one to save everyone. But if we're getting a Chainsaw Man Church versus public safety devil hunters segment, maybe even full mini arc or full arc even, I think that would be incredibly, incredibly cool. Either way though, this is half of the volume, so thank you for watching. If you did like the video, and well, Yeah, I'm kind of jumping straight into the outro. I guess I discussed everything as I discussed each chapter. Actually, I yapped on quite a bit this week. But thank you, though. Thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video. Comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reactions. Subscribe for more Chainsaw Man, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, it'd be appreciated. But if you want to support the channel, help me keep making videos, but also get your name at the end of every video, get One Piece videos a bit early, then you can hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to people who have already become patrons and members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, Magical Girls, FR Nono, Abyss Knight, JA, and The D-Ban, Cheriton Students, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element, Pate Ariel. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, for your support. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time.